How you doing again? My name is Peter Collins.
I'm Lori Collins, and we're here to review Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians.
So I just came out of the movie from this morning, which seems to be a running thing with me. And you saw it a few weeks ago.
Yes.
So what did you think of the movie?
I absolutely loved the movie.
Okay.
When I went in, I knew what the movie was about.
Okay.
Or I knew, what the plot was. And it's an old plot. It's not new. It's
Right.
not anything
Right.
new. Rich boy, poor girl. They both fall in love, and now it's time to meet the in-laws or the future in-laws.
Yes, potential in-laws, I would say.
Potential in-laws.
Yeah.
But in this one, now of course the girl is going to go over to
Singapore.
To Singapore.
Yeah.
And she first gets her taste that, wait a minute, something's going on when they're flying first class.
Right. She doesn't know that her boyfriend is rich.
Right.
Which is, he never tells her, so it's a surprise. The first time she gets to know about it is when they get on the plane, or actually when they pull up to get on the plane and get out of the car, and they have all these servants helping them.
Right.
And then they get into first class, and she's like, "What the? We can't afford this." She has her bag of snacks packed. She's ready to go coach. No, however many hour flight it is to Singapore. So, and that's when it's revealed he's rich, and she's cool with that. She's herself just a college professor of economics.
Right.
So she has some success. That's a hell of a success on my terms, but definitely not a rich person at all.
Yeah. But and not to give away too much of the movie, but I really liked in the beginning when the girl and the guy who are it's Constance
Wu. Right.
Constance Wu, who's playing the girl.
Rachel.
Playing Rachel.
Yeah.
Well, her and her boyfriend, they're in a restaurant eating, and
forgot about that. I didn't write that down.
yeah, and the I love the mix of the new technology and the old.
Oh, okay, right.
When
you were talking about
she was
the scene.
Yeah,
she and her boyfriend go to eat in a restaurant, and someone who knows him or is familiar with him sees them. And so word of this manages to get all the way across the world to his mother in seconds, basically.
In seconds. But when they're doing it, you don't know what's really happening until right towards the end of that scene. But it's very, very well done.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I'm seeing the mother for what I'm looking at is the first time and stuff, and I'm kind of forming opinions of her from the way she looks, her answers and stuff like that, and I can tell, she's the son's mom, and she's rich and stuff like this. But what I didn't know is her background until I talked to you.
Oh, the actress, or we're talking?
Yeah, the actress.
Yeah, the mom is played by Michelle Yeoh, who I've been a big fan of for like 20 years, and she's a badass, and she's been in action movies in Hong Kong since the mid '80s, and does her own stunts, does crazy stunts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and she's like superhuman to me. And so to see her in this, and what I love about this, she's a really good actress too. And one of the signs of that, I think, for this movie, because when I see her, she's going to be in something, I'm like, some ass kicking is going to go on. And especially in this movie, I was, maybe because I know it wasn't going to be that type of movie, I wasn't looking for that at all and stuff, and just enjoyed her performance, and she did fantastic. So
yeah, because you see, like with me, because I didn't know her action background, and I saw her perform in this movie. She just really blew me away. She is a very, very fine actress, and like I said, I didn't know her background until you told me, and then showed me some of her YouTube,
some of the clips here,
and I was like, wow, really?
Yeah.
And oh, she was a cutie too when she was young. She was a cutie.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
bad looking now.
she was Miss Malaysia.
Oh, okay.
She was a beauty queen.
Okay,
so
well,
yeah,
there
so
you
she
go.
was so it's which is really even extra cool.
Yeah.
That she went on to do like these crazy action movies.
Because we hear so much about like a Jackie Chan and a Bruce Lee, how they did their own stunts and stuff like that.
Right.
And even in the new Mission Impossible movie.
Oh. Well, Tom Cruise is
yeah,
known for doing crazy
where
stuff.
Tom Cruise did his, but if you look Michelle Yeoh up, oh my, she does a motorcycle stunt on jumping onto a moving train and then jumping off it.
And I will mention this: if you've ever watched the Kill Bill movies, the second one, he has a line in that movie that he has the bride deliver. She goes, "I would jump a motorcycle onto a moving train for you." So that's totally a reference to Michelle Yeoh, basically, which is cool if you knew that. You're like, oh! And of course, Quentin Tarantino's a huge fan of like Hong Kong action films and things like that. So.
But the whole movie's very well done. But now, like we said, okay, it's an old thing. It's been done a lot. They did it very, very well in this movie. So, hats off to the directors and all the actors and actresses, editor, everybody. They did a really, really good job from start to finish. But now, there was, like I said, it started off kind of like with the old tech, with the new tech, going to the old tech. And what I was mentioning or saying about that was, this girl is texting and sending pictures to Singapore.
To everybody, it's like whoever they knew across the world, and they forwarded it there. So it's a whole gossip behind the back type of thing through modern technology. Right,
and when they're getting all this information, they're playing mahjong.
Oh, the mom is with her friends.
With her friends. So it's kind of like old, new, and then when you're thinking, okay, they're over here and it's dark, it's at night when they're eating, so they just finished dinner and they're having their dessert. So it's more or less morning over on the other side of the world, and they're getting started by doing this, and then questions are flying. Very, very well done. Very well.
It's definitely a Hollywood movie in a lot of ways, and I want to get to my perspective because I was looking forward to this movie a lot, and I have to say I wanted to love it, but I only came out liking it, and that's because it is a very typical Hollywood romantic comedy, and and so it kind of like, okay, I was hoping it would dig a little deeper, and actually it does dig a little deeper. It does have a little bit of a twist to it that really grounds the movie and engages you, but it takes a while. It's very fluffy, it's very beautiful, it's very opulent, there's lots of I mean, it is about rich people, so that they get very well portrayed on screen, and things like that. But so that was my thing going in, and I think my perspective is like, because of Michelle Yeoh, and I became a fan of hers when a movie called Super Cop in the late 90s began, and when they were trying to launch Jackie Chan here, and she's in that movie too. So because of her, I ended up diving into Hong Kong movies for many years and getting into mainly action ones, but then I start seeing their romances and getting familiar with some of these stars in Hong Kong and in China and Asia, and how great they were, just star quality, especially at a time when Hollywood stars didn't seem all that special to me anymore.
Right.
So I've seen romances and things like that I would prefer to this movie. So I was kind of like, I was hoping it was good in this one, but it's a good movie. But I have to say, what I think the big deal here though is like with Black Panther was for black people, is seeing something, a general Hollywood product for that. In that case, it was a superhero action movie with that one with the people of color in terms of African Americans and Africans, and this one with Asian Americans, mainly Chinese. It does take place in Singapore. So seeing yourself in a big Hollywood production is an amazing experience, even though, you know, Black Panther is a good movie too, but it's probably, I don't think it's the greatest superhero movie. And the same as this is a good movie too, I don't think it's the greatest romantic comedy though. So.
Well, I guess, you know, and again, going back to age, when I was a kid, I remember seeing Road to Singapore.
Okay.
And Asians were in the background.
Yeah.
And white Americans in the forefront.
Right.
And that's what the movie was about.
Right.
So to see an all Asian cast,
right.
And I mean, and I want to say this in a way that I'm not being disparaging, but it was just so well acted.
Yeah.
It was one of those things of, you know, later you go, oh yeah, it was all Asians, but that wasn't the thing, or the,
it wasn't. So, and they do this, Hollywood does this with a lot of movies that they do about other cultures that aren't, you know, the norm in Hollywood that they like to cover. They tend to view it through a certain lens, and you're getting this through the lens of Asian people, which is great.
Right.
And you're getting this, oh, you didn't think of, I mean, everybody was beautiful, and a lot of good looking guys in this. Not that, you know, beautiful women and charming, and, you know, that's one of the things I'm glad to see. I was excited to see that finally come in a Hollywood movie that wasn't based on some kind of things like geishas or generally, like, and what they do with what movies about African Americans is that they base it in slavery or civil rights, and that's the only thing they'll cover.
Right.
Where with Asians, there's certain things that, you know, in the past, whereas this is just everyday life.
With a lot of times with Asians, all they ever want to do is martial arts.
Right, exactly.
This is what they do.
Right. It's like, oh, you're gonna do it. It's like, no.
And then of course
there was none in this.
They're great at mathematics.
You
know, this is what it is, and this movie had none of that. It was just, these are people.
These are people. These are successful people.
Yeah.
These are, you know, you had old money families, you had new money families, you had people just mega successful on the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and it was great to see that.
And it was very funny. It wasn't hilarious, but it was funny. I really did enjoy it, and I kept thinking her friend, and
her college friend,
but I can't remember her movie name, but I found out her actual name was Aquafina. She's some sort of rapper.
Right, I wasn't familiar with her at all. But when this movie was being promoted, I was like, oh, Aquafina's in it. I'm like, okay, she's somebody, so I'll see what it is. Now, this is interesting because this could be controversial, and I did just see something when I was doing a little Google research about her. She kind of puts on, I mean, she's from the hip hop community apparently, so her portrayal, her doing kind of like this characteristic hood, maybe black kind of thing. How did you feel about that? It was funny, but some people are like, was it kind of racist to do that? And I
didn't think so. I just followed her.
Yeah.
It just seemed to be
just her personality. Yeah. I think so too. I think it's part of her. You know, what I thought about her in watching it, actually when she first came on, it's like, oh, I know somebody just like that. I know an Asian woman who it reminded me of. So I was cool with it. I was like, yeah, you know, this is just another aspect of Asian culture. So to me, it's somebody in Asian culture. So I didn't find it that way at all.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't see it as that.
Okay.
So. I was just fine, you know. But her father.
Played by Ken Jeong.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? It's weird. He's somebody that if you put him on screen for 5 to 10 minutes, I just love it, and I think he's funny as I don't know what.
Yeah.
But if you put him on screen for 15 minutes,
right? Yeah.
And he can be just as funny, I don't like him anymore.
Right. He's good in small doses, and they were just the right amount of him in this. You know, I'm familiar from him from the TV show Community, and so.
And I'm familiar with him from Hangover.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just enough Ken Jeong because he can be very over the top and kind of crazy, and yeah, I thought he was funny in this movie. It worked for me.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things this movie is like. It's some of the I think I wanted to go on to where the movie kind of differs from the formula. We have a poor girl with a rich guy. She finds out he's rich. She goes to meet his family, and what you're expecting how them to react. And you know, there's the snobbery and things like that, especially amongst his friends. But you would think with his family, is it going to be, oh, they're just going to hate her because she's poor? And really, that's not the issue. That is with the family, and I think that's where this movie really just sails. That's where it's not just that stereotypical, oh, because she's poor and she's not good enough. There is really good reasons for the mom to feel the way she does, and really the resolution of this movie, I think, is very earned because of this approach they took.
Yes.
So
yes. Again, not to give too much away, I like the way they took the opening of the movie, because like you said, she's a college professor.
Yeah.
They took the opening of the movie and the studies that she has.
Yeah.
And
she's playing poker with one of her students, and there's something she says in that scene that she later, after going through this ordeal, she later applies to her own life in dealing with her boyfriend's family.
Right, because it seems that at first she was willing to do like the student.
Yeah.
To kind of take a back seat, and then she decided, no, I'm not. I'm going to move forward, and she did that, which kind of took the mother back, but the mother liked.
Right.
But then I guess at some point there was more. Let me look into this.
Yeah.
And then, hey, here's what's going on, and then there was this is what you found out. This is what you would have found out, but. Here is what the real is. Right. And then it became see, you know, and it's one of those things of whenever you point a finger, there's always 3 pointing back at you. So, very, very good.
So even though I recommend this movie.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if I could say run out to the theater and see it. Well, run out to the theater and see it because I think it's important to support movies like this, which are where there's representation of not typical for Hollywood. And we should need more people of color, more Asian, more about blacks, more about Latinos. Just cross culturally, everybody should. Be able to tell their story in their own voice and have it on screen.
And with saying that, I don't think neither of us mean that we would rather see someone of color or minority in a role that that somebody would play who was white. I don't want to see somebody who's playing Jack Webb. I don't want to see a black guy playing him. I want to see a white guy playing because he was a white guy.
Well, I don't know. Well, I guess.
Well, I mean that's just.
I think it's like I don't want to see a black guy playing the King of England from That kind of doesn't work anymore. No, from from generations ago, from centuries ago. That would be ridiculous.
I wouldn't want to see. I wouldn't want to see a Mexican guy playing Hitler. It's like, no.
You wouldn't say that because he was a good actor.
Yeah, if he was.
But if he was a good actor,
he can't play Hitler and have a Spanish accent.
Oh, okay.
He could play Hitler, but have a you know, have a German accent.
Okay, like
You
yeah.
know, he could do that.
Yeah.
It's almost like in Black Klansman, there's this one guy who's actually Puerto Rican, I think it is,
Okay.
but he plays a white guy in the movie.
Okay.
I
think I
a
kind
white
of familiar.
Klansman.
Yeah,
Well,
just it seems. Yeah, that seems familiar. Yeah, because I was looking,
Yeah.
I was like, "What's he talking about? He's what
Yeah.
is he?" Yeah, I, think I know who you're
and,
talking about.
and it was kind of
Because I was
like,
like, you know, but then that falls along with the theme of that movie. That's why I don't want to get back into reviewing that because
Yeah.
we had the Jewish cop who didn't really think about his Jewishness, like so to speak.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of people out there like that. So.
yeah. So it's just a thing of I would hate seeing like back in the old days when they had Arabs and Indians and
Played by
blue-eyed white guys. It's like
let's not do that.
yeah. So again, you know,
Well, it's just,
this was something about crazy rich Asians, and it
was a lot of fun. It was heartwarming. It was good. I do recommend it. You know, I was hoping it would be a little more, but I think that's just I had a lot of hype going into it that I think if I saw it again, maybe in a couple months' time, would that die down? I really enjoy it a lot more.
And I think that might be my fault because I came over and said,
no, it's not just your fault because it's not.
it was
No, because I've been looking forward to this long before you even saw it. So shall I wrap this up? You have any final thoughts on it? Do you want to throw out there anything we missed?
I would say it is a movie that I would really like you all to go see while it's still in theaters. It was really great.
Yeah.
It's not a big blow 'em up, big scene where you have to see it on the big screen.
Right.
But I would say if this was your date night, if this was your what you were trying to figure out what movie you wanted to see, and you've already seen like Mission Impossible or Equalizer, stuff like that.
Yeah, good date night.
Yeah, I would say definitely go see it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So we'll see you next time. I'm Lori.
I'm Peter.
Yow. And then we have action scenes on, just going on right back here. So, anyway.